I got 6 numbers here.
Do you have this in a folder?
Pardon?
Do you have this in a folder or something?
Yeah, the ones I got are in the folder that says, yeah.
Okay, today we're presenting the power of talk. I'm Gavin.
I'm Kelsey.
I'm Kobe.
I'm Jordan.
Childhood socialization. Growing up, you are socialized in many ways. And who and how you socialize with people affects the linguistic style that you will develop as you grow older. Men and women are socialized different growing up. Girls usually have a single best friend and socialize in small groups. They use language to negotiate how close they are. Unlike boys, boys are in larger groups. They're not afraid to have multiple leaders. There are no equals, and being a leader, you're not seen as bossy. People, especially with the styles you use, see you differently. They could see you as weak, unconfident, and ignorant, just based off of how you say things, act, and how you do things. How you talk, or how you talk to you also affects your how you do in a company. This is due to many of the things doing how bosses, managers, and other employees see you and how they treat you and how well you're going to do in your company and how you're going to climb up and how assertive you are and how other people see you. Understanding the power of talk is important because when you sharing credit, acting modest, asking questions, apologizing, giving feedback, positive before negative, avoiding opposition, managing up, and being indirect, all play a factor in how people see you and how you treat others.
So instead of rehashing exactly what the past 5 presentations have said, we thought we'd share more personal examples of different of these linguistic styles. For me, I drew a lot of my personal examples from mock trial. I was one of the only women on the team. And I found that when we went to go to these competitions, my first instinct was to talk about how it was our first year, and it drove a bunch of the guys on our team absolutely nuts. They thought that it was undermining our success, whereas I thought it was just a way to kind of explain what we were doing. I also found when talking to other girls, they would start their feedback with things that they liked, whereas the guys were more than happy to tell you exactly what they thought you did wrong. And how we were I was much more likely to talk about things that I thought I did wrong, whereas guys were much more likely to put what they thought they did right first.
So another thing we wanted to quickly bring up was that this essay was written in 1995, so almost 25 years ago, and that it may not be right now the most accurate way. I think there's a lot of really good points that the chapter brings up, but I don't think it can be applied to every situation. There's a lot of modern day businesses that are run by extremely competent women. And there's a lot of businesses where you'll work with majority women. I know I worked this summer in a business that had 95% female employees. And maybe changing the way that a woman speaks or asking men to acknowledge us might not always be accurate, because maybe you're in a situation with majority women or women leaders in which being modest and apologizing is much more appropriate way to act. So we just wanted to point out that there could be a difference in the past 25 years since this was written.
So a key point that I noticed in the book, that whenever you're having a conversation with somebody, you can't ultimately decide how they're feeling just by their confidence level or the mannerisms that they're showing off. You have to be really open-minded whenever you're talking to that person and see what's going on with them and how they communicate. And it's not just about how you communicate to them, it's about their styles too.
We also quickly wanted to address that there is a double standard, and while women might feel like they're being bossy, they often are perceived as actually being more bossy, so there wasn't really a good way to address that chapter.
Cool, you're done.